June 20th is a day for the global community to raise their voices in support of refugees. Korea is no exception, especially its southernmost resort island. Soo-young zooms in on how Jeju is supporting asylum seekers who fled war-ravaged Yemen.
Hundreds of asylum seekers from the Gulf nation of Yemen may soon find places to work and live on South Korea's southern resort island of Jeju. The presidential office said in a briefing Wednesday that some 500 Yemeni asylum seekers will be granted the right to work in certain sectors, even if they haven't been granted official refugee status. Jeju's provisional authorities have already held job fairs and allowed 300 to look for work on the island.
Before decisions are made on their humanitarian rights to stay, we have granted them employment permits through the immigration law, which is separate from the Refugee Act.
Over the last 5 months, around 520 people from Yemen have applied to stay as refugees. That number alone is 12 times higher than the total number of Yemenis who applied for asylum in Korea last year. Most of the Yemeni asylum seekers are believed to have crossed over from Malaysia earlier this year, as Jeju Island offers up to 30 days visa-free travel for most foreigners. In 2013, South Korea became the first Asian country to enforce a standalone law on protecting refugees. Under the law, those who apply for refugee status can register for basic living expenses, up to $400 a month, before they're granted refugee status and the right to work. Addressing the fierce opposition from some locals and civic groups over accepting such an influx of Yemenis, the presidential office said Wednesday that it will tighten security to prevent possible crimes or clashes, while providing the asylum seekers with food, medical checkups and other means of assistance.
In case of economic difficulties, Jeju City is considering a certain amount of financial support for basic living expenses.
According to the UN Refugee Agency, more than 280,000 Yemenis had fled their country as of November last year, after a bloody civil war broke out in 2015. Soo-young, Arirang News.